So today we're going to take a deep dive into Brussel Lake Paragon.
Okay.
Brussel Lake Paragon, they're a company, a tech company that's really doing some incredible things across a surprisingly wide range of industries. We're talking everything from healthcare to retail to finance to food to you name it.
Yeah, it's really quite impressive.
I think they've got a finger in the pie. And what's really fascinating about this company is that they're not just building apps, right?
Yeah.
They're not just slapping together some code and saying, hey, here's a shiny new app. They're really focused on crafting solutions.
Exactly.
Solutions that have a real impact. And that's what we're going to be exploring today. We're not just going to be talking about what they built,
Right.
but really the why and the how.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at apps that have potentially saved lives, apps that have helped companies earn millions of dollars, and apps that have completely changed the way that customers experience brands.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that really comes through in this deep dive is that they're able to take, really diverse sectors and create a cohesive solution for each,
Right.
which speaks to their understanding of the space,
Yeah. And I think a big part of that is that they're really good at pinpointing, real world problems. And then they use technology as a tool to craft that elegant solution.
Right, right. It's not just sort of applying technology willy-nilly. It's actually like saying, okay,
Right.
what is the problem here? And how can we use technology to fix that?
Exactly. So to kick things off, I want to start by going over to the UK. And let's talk about the National Health Service. The NHS, we've all heard about it.
Yeah.
Now, imagine the complexity of something like organ donation, right?
Right.
You've got to match donors, you've got to coordinate logistics, and all of this is happening under immense time pressure.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
So that's the challenge that Brussel Lake Paragon tackled with the NHS Transplant Path app.
And what I think is really great about what they did is that they sort of took a step back and thought, okay, how can we make this entire system more efficient as opposed to just, doing the same thing but digitally, if you will.
Right. So what kind of results did they see?
So on average, they managed to reduce the time it takes to process an organ offer by nearly half an hour.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. And, you think about it, that could literally mean the difference between life or death for someone who's waiting for a transplant.
Absolutely. And it's not just about like numbers on a spreadsheet, right? This is this is about people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. It has real world consequences.
And they also estimate that the app saves around 61 days per year.
Wow.
In all those manual processes that used to, eat up so much time. And that's time that, medical staff can now dedicate to other crucial tasks.
Right.
So, ultimately leading to better care overall.
Absolutely. And I think it just highlights how powerful, good design can be.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of aesthetics, but in terms of actual, efficiency and positive impacts.
Yeah, it's not just about making things look pretty. It's about making them work well.
Right, exactly.
Okay, now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about something that I think is a little bit closer to home for many of our listeners, and that's grocery shopping. And specifically, I want to talk about the Dun Stores app in Ireland.
Okay.
Now, this app, it kind of stormed onto the scene, became the most downloaded app in Ireland practically overnight.
Wow.
And it's not just hype either. It's got a 4.7-star rating from over 50,000 reviews.
That's amazing, yeah.
So clearly they're doing something right.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about that is that they've used technology to sort of solidify their position as Ireland's largest grocery retailer.
Right. So it's not just a matter of like, oh, we have an app.
Right, exactly.
It's actually part of their strategy.
Exactly.
So it's like an extension of the entire Dun Stores experience.
Yeah, you can, whether you're browsing online, checking out in-store, or even just managing your loyalty points, it all kind of integrates seamlessly. And they've even got, biometric login, which just makes the whole thing, more secure and convenient for people.
Yeah. So it's all about like removing those friction points, making things super smooth and easy for the shopper.
And it's clearly working because, the App Store rating is just through the roof. So
yeah. Okay, go. Let's jump from groceries to something maybe a little bit more high stakes, and that's finance. So picture this, right? You've got Charles Stanley Direct. This is a wealth management firm with, a history going back centuries. I mean, they've been around forever. And they decide, okay, it's time to embrace the digital age. So they partner with Brussel Lake Paragon to create the Charles Stanley Direct app.
Right.
And this is a really fascinating case study in how you can modernize a traditional institution.
It would have been easy to just kind of create, a mobile version of their website.
Right.
But they actually sort of delved deeper and said, okay, how can we use technology to actually empower our clients and give them more control over their investments? They've got, shared trading, secure payments. You can even message your advisor.
Oh, wow.
Directly through the app.
So it's like having a personal wealth manager in your pocket.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I imagine, with a firm like Charles Stanley Direct, security must have been a top concern.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They implemented multi-factor authentication and all sorts of other, robust security measures to protect people's data. But they did it in a way that didn't sacrifice the user experience. So it's, it manages to be both secure and intuitive, which is a tough balance to strike.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking of striking that balance between, security and convenience, let's look at the Co-op app and their loyalty program.
Okay.
This app has over 2.3 million downloads, and it's not just because of some flashy features.
Right.
Co-op members have saved over 10 million pounds through the app.
Wow.
And on top of that, they've donated 100 million.
It's amazing.
To various causes.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I think what they do really well is the personalization. They seem to have hit that sweet spot of offering deals that are relevant.
Right.
Without feeling like they're bombarding you with notifications.
So it's not just about discounts. It's actually about creating a sense of community and shared values.
Right.
It's like they're saying, hey, we get you and we want to reward you for being a part of the Co-op family.
Yeah.
And it's clearly working because they earn 12 pounds in revenue for every 1 pound invested in the app. So that's a pretty compelling argument for the power of a well-executed loyalty program.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Investing in user experience pays off in the long run, both for customer loyalty and for, the bottom line.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, are you ready for something completely different?
Sure, yeah. Hit me.
Let's talk aviation.
Okay.
So imagine you're working on an aircraft, maybe you're in a remote location, and you urgently need a specific part. Right. That's a problem. That's the problem that Brussel Lake Paragon tackled with the Fokker Services app.
And so what they did was they created this database that's accessible offline.
Wow.
Of over 800,000 components.
800,000 components.
Yeah, I know. It's huge. So basically, even if you don't have an internet connection, you can still find what you need, locate it, and, get things moving.
That's amazing. How did they manage to do that? Squeeze that much data into an app that works offline?
I mean, that is some serious technical wizardry.
Yeah.
They must have used, some clever data compression and retrieval methods to make sure that the app is still, responsive and efficient, even with all that information.
Yeah. And
probably some sort of combination of local storage and cloud syncing to make sure it updates whenever there is an internet connection.
So it's like magic, but it's really just, brilliant engineering.
Right.
Yeah. And it shows that Brussel Lake Paragon is not afraid to, tackle these complex technical challenges to really deliver those real-world solutions.
And that's what I think is so impressive about them. They're not just chasing trends.
Right.
They're actually trying to solve real problems.
Yeah.
They're making a difference.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's talk about something that I think a lot of us can relate to, and that is ordering a pizza.
Okay.
Brussel Lake Paragon was actually behind the Domino's app.
Oh, wow.
And while it might seem like a simple concept, right? It actually played a huge role in Domino's digital transformation.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, they didn't just create a digital menu. They really thought about the whole experience of ordering a pizza. From browsing to ordering to tracking the delivery. They even integrated things like, voice ordering and personalized recommendations.
So they took something that was already, familiar, ordering a pizza, and made it even easier and more fun.
Exactly.
No wonder they saw a boost in online orders.
Yeah, and I think, it goes beyond just boosting sales. It actually helped them gather data about customer preferences, which they could then use to inform their marketing and, further develop their offerings.
Yeah, so it's like this win-win situation. They're getting more orders, but they're also getting smarter about what they're offering.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, now from pizza to something maybe a little bit more complex, let's talk about international business. Brussel Lake Paragon developed the Avery app. It lets businesses trade and make payments in over 130 currencies.
Oh, wow. So I can ditch my clunky Forex calculator now.
Exactly.
That's pretty incredible.
Right. And it's not just about the currency conversion.
Yeah.
It really streamlines that whole process of managing international payments.
Yeah, and I think for anyone who's, traveled a lot or done business internationally, they'll know how much of a pain that can be. So to have everything just sort of in one place in an app, that's a game changer.
Yeah, it's like having, a global banking partner right in your pocket.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, now let's switch gears again and talk about an app that's making a difference in the world of personal finance.
Okay.
And that is the Wave app. Now, this app really stands out because of its focus on accessibility and financial education.
It's designed to be super user-friendly. The interface is clean, the language is easy to understand. It's really like having a personal finance coach right there in your pocket, helping you with your budget, tracking expenses, making informed decisions about your money.
And it's clearly resonating with users because, they've got these incredibly high customer satisfaction ratings.
Yeah.
They even won App of the Year at the Prolific North Tech Awards.
That's fantastic.
Right. So it's not just about building a finance app. It's actually about empowering people to take control of their financial well-being.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think, for a lot of people, finance can be this kind of scary, mysterious thing.
Yeah.
So to have an app that actually helps you understand it and make sense of it,
right,
that's incredibly empowering.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now speaking of empowering individuals, let's look at the Very app.
Okay.
Now, they partnered with Brussel Lake Paragon to improve their sign-in process.
Right.
Which, might seem like a small detail.
Yeah.
But honestly, it can make a huge difference in that overall user experience.
Oh, absolutely. A clunky sign-in process is it's so frustrating, especially on mobile.
Right.
So by streamlining that, they've actually made the app so much more accessible and enjoyable to use.
Yeah, it's about removing those little points of friction, right?
Exactly.
Making things smooth. And, it wasn't just about improving the existing app. Brussel Lake Paragon also contributed their expertise to developing new features, so they're showing that they can really collaborate seamlessly with a client's internal team.
Right. It speaks to their flexibility. You know, they can sort of work as an extension of an existing team or take the lead on developing something totally new.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Are you ready to switch gears again?
Sure.
Let's talk about The Drum.
Okay.
Now, The Drum is a leading marketing publication, and they partnered with Brussel Lake Paragon to develop an Alexa skill.
Oh, wow.
So proving that they're not just limited to, mobile apps.
Right. It's interesting because it seems like they sort of saw the potential of voice technology early on. They recognize that people are increasingly using things like Alexa.
Yeah.
And they wanted to be a part of that.
So instead of just waiting for, the voice revolution to happen, they jumped right in.
Yeah.
And started experimenting.
And what they came up with is this Alexa skill that delivers, the latest news and insights from The Drum. So it's a great way to stay up to date on the marketing industry, and it's, really convenient and engaging.
So it's like they're taking their content and making it available wherever people are.
Exactly.
However they want to consume it. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the world of healthcare for a moment.
Yep.
We already talked about, the life-saving efficiency of the NHS Transplant Path app.
Right.
But Brussel Lake Paragon has also done some really impressive work with the NHS Blood and Transplant Organ Donation Campaign. They developed a mobile app to support that campaign's goal of encouraging more people to become organ donors.
Right. And I think, this is a really delicate topic.
Right.
And it requires a certain sensitivity.
Yeah.
So it's not just about creating a flashy app. It's about understanding, the nuances of the issue and conveying the importance of organ donation in a way that's both informative and, emotionally resonant.
So did they use any specific techniques or design elements to try to achieve that?
I would imagine they probably use things like storytelling and personal narratives to really connect with people on an emotional level.
Right.
And maybe even some interactive elements like quizzes or games to make learning about it more engaging.
So instead of just presenting facts and figures.
Right.
They're really trying to create an experience that resonates with people and inspires them to take action.
Yeah, it's about meeting people where they are.
Yeah.
And using technology to facilitate those meaningful conversations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's shift our focus a little bit to online learning.
Go.
FutureLearn, this is a leading online learning platform.
Mm-hmm.
They partnered with Brussel Lake Paragon to develop their mobile app.
Right.
And this is a great example of how technology can make learning more accessible and engaging.
I think what's great about the app is that it doesn't feel like a watered-down version of the website.
Yeah.
You know, it actually manages to distill the essence of FutureLearn into a mobile experience without losing any of the core features.
Right. So you can still browse courses, watch video lectures, participate in discussions, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. You can even track your progress. And it's all, really well designed. Mm-hmm. They've paid attention to the user experience. It's visually appealing and it's intuitive.
Yeah.
And they've even incorporated things like offline access. So, if you're commuting or traveling, you can still download the materials and keep learning.
Yeah, it's about making learning fit into people's busy lives.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Learning shouldn't be confined to, a classroom or a desktop. It should be accessible anywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you ready for something a little bit more niche?
Hit me.
Let's talk about SailGP.
Okay.
This is a global sailing competition, and it features these high-speed foiling catamarans. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So Brussel Lake Paragon developed the SailGP app, which, it's a great example of how they can tailor their expertise to even the most specialized industries. Yeah. And this app enhances that whole fan experience by providing, real-time race data, insights, exclusive content, all that good stuff.
So it's like having a virtual front row seat to the races.
Exactly. You can track the boat's positions, their speeds. You can even hear live commentary.
Wow.
Right. But it goes beyond just watching the races. They've incorporated interactive elements like quizzes and polls, things that allow fans to really engage with the sport.
It's about turning passive viewers into active participants.
Right.
Which is so crucial for any sport trying to grow its fan base.
Exactly. Yeah. And it shows that, Brussel Lake Paragon is not afraid to think outside the box and create these innovative solutions that really cater to those unique needs of each client.
Yeah, they're not a one-size-fits-all company. They really, tailor their approach to each project.
Absolutely. Okay, let's dive into the world of augmented reality for a moment.
Okay.
Brussel Lake Paragon developed the Lexus AR app.
Right.
Now, this app was developed to support the launch of a new Lexus model. And it's a great example of how they can leverage cutting-edge technology to create these really engaging marketing experiences.
Instead of just relying on, traditional brochures and videos, they created this app that allows you to explore a 3D model of the car in augmented reality.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can basically step inside the car virtually, interact with its features. You can even customize the colors and options.
So it's like having a virtual showroom right in your living room.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not just a gimmick. It actually allows you to get a much deeper understanding of the car.
Right.
Its features and design than you could from just looking at a brochure.
Yeah. And it's a much more engaging experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really crucial in a world where consumers are just bombarded with advertising messages.
Right, exactly. You have to stand out somehow.
Yeah. Okay. Now, let's switch gears again and talk about digital radio.
Okay.
Brussel Lake Paragon was involved in the BBC iPlayer radio app.
Right.
And this project involved consolidating 19 different BBC radio stations into a single user-friendly app.
That's a huge undertaking.
It was a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
But they managed to pull it off seamlessly, and the result is this app that's, revolutionized the way people listen to radio in the UK.
So they've taken something that was already popular, radio, and just made it even more accessible and enjoyable.
Exactly. You can listen to live broadcasts, catch up on missed shows, discover new content all in one place.
Yeah, and they've also got features like personalized recommendations and offline listening. So, it's a really great user experience all around.
It's a great example of how technology can enhance, these traditional media and make them relevant to a modern audience.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's get a little physical. Brussel Lake Paragon developed the Watt Bike Hub app,
Okay.
which is designed to, enhance the training experience for cyclists who are using watt bikes, stationary bikes.
Right. So this is sort of like a virtual cycling coach in your pocket.
Exactly. It provides cyclists with this comprehensive suite of features to track their workouts, analyze their performance, set goals.
Yeah, I love that they've included things like personalized training plans. You can connect with other cyclists, even compete in virtual races.
Oh, wow. So it really makes indoor cycling more engaging and motivating.
Exactly. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible with fitness technology.
And they've even got like a preset gearing feature, which allows you to, simulate different riding conditions. So it makes it more realistic.
Yeah, so it's not just, mindlessly pedaling away.
Right.
You actually feel like you're out there on the road.
Yeah, it's really impressive what they've done. Okay, now, are you ready for something a little bit futuristic?
Sure. Always.
Let's talk about the Chelsea FC Academy AR app.
Oh, wow.
This app uses augmented reality to provide aspiring footballers with these unique training opportunities.
So this is a game changer for young athletes.
It is.
It gives them access to training drills and insights from coaches at Chelsea FC's academy.
Wow.
All through augmented reality.
So instead of just watching videos or reading articles, you can actually train alongside virtual representations of these professional coaches.
Yeah, it's like having a personal coach who's, right there with you, analyzing your every move.
It's amazing what technology can do these days.
Yeah, and it's really democratizing access to, elite level coaching, making it more affordable and accessible to people all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now let's shift our focus a little bit to early childhood development.
Okay.
Brussel Lake Paragon developed the Kadaddle app.
Right.
And this app is designed to provide parents and educators with personalized recommendations for activities and resources.
So it's like having a personalized early childhood development expert.
Exactly.
Right there at your fingertips.
And so instead of just relying on, these generic age-based recommendations, it actually takes into account each child's unique developmental stage, their interests, their learning style.
And it empowers parents and educators, to nurture each child's potential in a way that's really tailored to them.
Yeah, and it's got features like progress tracking and activity logging, so you can actually monitor the child's development. Right, and identify any areas where they might need additional support.
It's a great example of how technology can be used to really personalize that early childhood development experience.
Absolutely. And it shows, again, Brussel Lake Paragon's ability to create solutions that address, the specific needs of different age groups, different learning styles. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right. Okay, now let's talk about something that's pretty essential for all of us, and that is water. Brussel Lake Paragon developed the SES Water app, which is designed to, empower customers and promote water conservation.
So it's not just about, paying your bills or reporting a problem.
Right.
It's about actually giving people control over their water usage.
Exactly. So, you can manage your account, track your water usage, report leaks, all within the app.
And I think that's so important, especially in today's world where, water conservation is becoming increasingly crucial.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's move on to something that's maybe a little bit more behind the scenes.
Okay.
Brussel Lake Paragon developed the Event UK venue management system.
Right.
And, this is a great example of how they can develop these bespoke solutions that really address the specific needs of their clients.
They created this digital platform for Event UK, which is a leading provider of event ticketing and venue management solutions to really streamline their operations and make things easier for everyone involved.
So instead of relying on paper forms and manual processes,
right, exactly,
they created a digital system that automates a lot of tasks involved in managing events and venues.
Yeah, and it's not just one app, it's actually two separate apps.
Oh, wow.
One for venue managers and one for contractors.
So it's really connecting everyone involved in that process.
Yeah, and the venue management app gives you tools for scheduling events, managing bookings, communicating with staff.
Okay.
And then the contractor app lets contractors access job details, submit invoices, manage their schedules. So it's really about bringing everyone onto a single platform,
right,
which improves communication, efficiency, just overall satisfaction for everyone.
Yeah, it's amazing how much you can achieve when you just eliminate those, those little paper trails.
Right, exactly. It just simplifies everything.
Okay, now let's wrap up this deep dive with a project that really highlights Brussel Lake Paragon's commitment to creating accessible and user-friendly solutions. And we're going to go back to the Wave app.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier, it's focused on financial education, but what's really impressive is their dedication to making it accessible to everyone. They've incorporated things like large font sizes, support for screen readers, just clear, concise language that avoids all that financial jargon.
So it's really about making it usable
Yeah.
for people with a wide range of needs and abilities.
Exactly. It's not just about making an app that works. It's about making an app that works for everyone.
Yeah, they've really gone above and beyond to make sure that the Wave app is accessible to as many people as possible, regardless of, their technical expertise or financial literacy.
And it's clearly paid off because 99% of customers rated the onboarding process as either easy or very easy.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Which is a testament to their commitment to user-friendliness. So, it's a great example of how technology can be used to empower individuals and make these complex topics more accessible. And it shows, yet again, Brussel Lake Paragon's ability to create solutions that are both functional and socially responsible.
Yeah, they're not just building apps, they're building a better future.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
We've gone from organ donation to pizza delivery to augmented reality.
It's quite a range.
It's pretty mind-blowing, actually, the sheer breadth of Brussel Lake Paragon's work.
Yeah, it's clear that they have a knack for identifying those areas where technology can really make a difference.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to tackle those big challenges.
It's like they're not just creating technology for technology's sake, right? They're really thinking about the impact that their work has on people's lives.
Yeah, and I think, that's what sets them apart from some of the other tech companies. They're not just chasing trends or trying to make a quick buck.
Right.
They genuinely seem to be trying to make a positive difference in the world.
So what stands out to you the most from all of these examples?
I think the thing that really strikes me is the consistent focus on innovation and user centricity.
Yeah.
Whether they're streamlining organ donation, making finance more accessible, or creating immersive fan experiences, they always seem to put the user at the heart of their solutions.
That's a great point. It's not just about, building flashy apps. It's about understanding the needs of the users and creating solutions that genuinely make their lives better.
Exactly. It's not just about technology, it's about people.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder.
Okay.
We've seen how Brussel Lake Paragon is using technology to make a difference on this large scale.
Yeah.
But what about on a personal level? What about you, the listener? Could any of these solutions or the principles behind them be adapted to your own needs?
That's a great question.
Could you use technology to streamline a process at work, enhance an experience, or even just, spark a positive change in your own little corner of the world?
I think, sometimes the most impactful solutions start with a simple question. What if? What if I could use technology to make this task easier? What if I could make this experience more enjoyable? What if I could use my skills to make a difference in my community?
Those are powerful questions.
Yeah.
And often, the answers are closer than we think. We all have the potential to be innovators.
Absolutely.
To use technology to make a positive impact in our own unique ways.
And, as you go about your day, just keep your eyes open for those opportunities. Don't be afraid to experiment, to think outside the box, to challenge the status quo.
Who knows, maybe you'll be the one inspiring us next with your ingenuity and your commitment to using technology for good.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
Happy diving, everyone.